Welcome into another episode from the Critics Collective. I'm the Dad Panther, variety streamer, content creator, master of none, and we are going to start my journey as becoming WWE champion. Can't believe I'm saying that. It's crazy because it's true. Because by the end of all of this, I will be holding WWE Gold. Now, before we get into it, hit the subscribe button if you're looking for some nice WWE merchandise, kind of like the shirt I'm wearing or something you might have seen in previous videos. Go ahead and check out in the description. We have a link. Click that, get you some cool gear in there, and we would really appreciate that. That support gives us a little kickback if you happen to make a purchase or whatnot. But with that being said, when we started this channel in October, talking television, movie, film, everything in between, we started crossing over to wrestling, and we've got some other stuff that we have lined up for you in the next coming months and years. But wrestling holds something dear to our heart, and we see that you guys enjoy what we're putting out. So a while ago, I did a series of videos. It was reviews on documentary. Some of my favorite wrestlers, Bret the Hitman Hart, Shawn Michaels, and so many others. We also did a conversation on Dark Side of the Ring and had some conversations on recapping and moments in the WWE for some major pay-per-views or even SmackDown or Raw. Now, with that being said, I did issue a challenge, and you guys fulfilled that challenge. The challenge was, I believe, on a few videos, it was if we got 100 likes, I would go ahead and buy WWE Gold. I would go ahead and figure out how to do it, and I would document that journey. And I believe it was the Bret the Hitman documentary that we achieved that. And I want to say thank you guys for going ahead and doing that and showing your support. So the series of videos that we're going to do is just kind of walk you through my process. Maybe you'll learn something. Maybe you'll help me learn something in the comments, or you'll help someone else who may be looking to make this purchase, as it is not an easy purchase. It costs some money, and you got to make sure you're doing the right way so you at least get something in the mail versus have to mail out a legal document. Anyway, so now, to do this, I need to actually just pick what belt that I'm gonna get. And before I go into the three belts, right, that I'm gonna narrow down to, I just want to go ahead and bring up honorable mention. Okay. So these are some of the belts that I thought about getting. I mean, when I say I thought, and I spend hours of researching, I'm an overthinker. That's just what I do. These are the belts where I'm like, hey, it didn't go. Big gold. Big Gold. You know what I'm talking about. Big Gold, probably made famous by Ric Flair, Triple H, Batista, Shawn Michaels at the Elimination Chamber match. Oh man, with the brown type pants. Not his best, but as a Shawn Michael fan, I ain't mad at it. You know what I'm saying? It's a different kind of drip. It's a cowboy drip. It's a new drip. The reason why that one isn't going to be one of the three that I'm going to go with is I actually bought this years ago. See it just shining years ago with the red rubies in it. Years ago at a WWE live event, a pay-per-view actually. And it's in the background on that shelf up there. That way you can't really, but it's normally up there in the background. But I already have some gold. And it's just not big enough. And regardless what she says, size matters. So that won't be it. The all elite championship belt, oh my gosh, that's not on the list. That's not on the list for the reason of it's there's not that much history on all elite. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy watching it. The storyline is hidden recently better, but and I think it has more gems or diamonds, or I don't know what the correct term is, but it has more than I think any championship belt I've ever seen. But probably the biggest reason why it's honorable mention and it's not being pursued as the top three is simply it costs too much fucking money. At the time of doing this video, it was over $800. Now, unless the website glitched, I think it was the only belt that's there. And I'm like, really? Really? Like for that price, does that mean I'm an official champion? Like, am I official? Am I on the list? Like every time you make a purchase, right? You go to All Elite and it'll show, you with the belt. And it's like that's a part of the lineage that's on Wikipedia. I don't know. I'm just saying. So for that one, I couldn't count. The Undisputed Championship belt. Oh my gosh, a beautiful belt that's similar. It's very similar to, I guess, the tag team belts that you see now on I want to say Montez Ford is wearing it now. Oh, I think he lost that. Point blank, the new tag team championship belt, not the penny belt. Um, Brock Lesnar wore it. Eddie Guerrero wore it. It was after Chris Jericho won both belts. He carried it around for a bit, both belts, and they combined it into one. And I think Triple H was the first one to show off or debut that belt. That's a beautiful belt. I was thinking about that one. The Food Lingo Season 1 belt. I know Lingo's not going to want me to mention it, but if you check Movie Lingo, the other YouTube channel, or Google for a little bit, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I won't spoil how that season plays out, but that was a belt that I thought about. The WWE Tag Team Championship belts, the ones that crossed over before the Attitude Era and actually went into the Attitude Era. I remember the Road Dogg, Jesse James, the badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaw wearing that championship belt, and so many other people in history have worn that belt. It's just such a big plate. It's just beautiful. The blue, the little bit of red on there. So that was a belt that I thought about hosting over my shoulder. The other one was the U.S. Championship belt. I did enjoy. There's a few of the U.S. Championship iterations that I liked, but the one that Manny was talking about, which is the most recent one with that big eagle on it, I think that is a beautiful, beautiful belt. And I thought about doing that one, and the undisputed WWE Champion, which to me, there's so many people that have worn and hosted that belt and showcased it, but for me, it's Roman Reigns. It's the Tribal Chief. It's none other than the head of the table, and what he's been able to do in his career, and the gimmick and the legacy and the reign and everything. You love him or hate him. That's another belt that I was thinking about getting because of the storyline for the bloodline, because of Roman Reigns. And so that's pretty cool that I can, we, not just me, but we can all, when it comes to certain belts and certain memories and stuff like that, sometimes we just attach it to a time in our life. We attach it to a certain superstar. And so that's what it is there. Now, for the honorable mentions, respectfully, I had to pick three. My brain just kept moving. I'm just going to say, hey, look, I'm going to pick three belts, right? Three belts to rule them all. All right. So I don't want to say in no particular order. I'm going to say it was the Intercontinental Championship belt. That is the one that Ultimate Warrior won. You had Shawn Michaels, Bret the Hitman Hart, so many people that won that belt. To me, the Intercontinental Championship belt is the workman's belt. It's someone who is going to. I know a lot of people think mid card, but it's like if you do that in the mid card and you're performing at a certain level, that means you're going to be that next guy and get the conversation the next guy. So, for instance, like Gunther taking that belt and making it a workings belt. Zig doing the same thing with the Miz. There's so many people who've made that belt, especially in recent memory, where it's like, hey, listen, this is not just a placeholder. This is I'm running, I'm working the house shows, I'm working the pay-per-views, I'm putting on banger after banger after banger, while you're sitting at home eating burger after burger after burger. And that's what the Intercontinental Championship meant to me. Now, whether or not I get in the white leather, Shawn Michaels Ultimate Warrior, or would I get it in the black leather? I would need time to think about that. I feel like I'm leaning towards the black leather. The other belt that I would say is the Big Eagle. The Big Eagle that was after Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin wins, carries the winged eagle for a bit, and they give the brand new belt, which is it's kind of like this rounded, it's so beautiful, this rounded belt still has a big eagle on it. We've seen it in blue, we've seen it in black, and it's a belt that doesn't get enough chirping, if I can just go ahead and take and own that moment. It's a beautiful belt. Now for that one, that's the Attitude Era belt for me. That's The Rock, that's Triple H, there's so many people that wore that belt, and there's just something that just something about it. I don't know, like I guess, give or take what your journey is, you might grow up in the spinner belt era, and that's your thing, whether the rated R superstar, John Cena, whoever. But for me, my time, like this is my time. Your time is here, my time is now, down here. This is our time. If you know what that is from, put in the comments. So the the only other belt I can think of that I would add to the top 3 that I'm thinking about, we talked about the Big Eagle, we talked about the Intercontinental Championship. We can't forget the the crown jewel, I feel like, and I'm gonna think about it and make sure it's the crown jewel before I make this significant journey. It would be the War Eagle. So if I had to pick, I mean, I'm looking at the Big Eagle Intercontinental Championship, but it seems like the one I'm drawn to the most would be the Winged Eagle. Reggie designing that belt, the history that goes into not just his journey in making belts, but what it's done for wrestling in general. Probably even just any belt in general. The fact that you can buy a belt for your favorite football team, fantasy football team, your favorite television show. Just the fact that you can host a belt over your shoulder and no one's gonna look at it and think anything different other than saying you're a champion. Something about that. I mean, going to a WWE event and seeing people with belts like real replica toy, whatever you want. And you're just seeing that, and you're like, you don't ever look at that and say, they shouldn't be doing this. It's not the right place. You're like, this is exactly the place. Like, we should see that at the grocery store. We should see it at the gas station. We should see it when you take a hike and you climb a mountain. And maybe it's not a big mountain, maybe it's just a molehill, whatever. You climb it, you're at the top, and you just hoist, like, look, let me just take this off and just, you just at the top of the mountain. You're like, yeah, I did it. I ate a bowl of cereal this morning. You should be able to feel that. And so, Wing Eagle is that belt. It's man, it's Bret the Hitman Hart. It's HBK. It's, I don't want to say that other guy that had it first. It's just the long history. I won't say first. Well, yeah, but it's the long history that goes into that belt. There's something about it, the look of it. For sure, I would get that in black. I wouldn't do the other colors that had came out. I think purple was Macho Man. I think there was a light blue. There was a white one. Um, there's a handful of colors, but I think Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man might have been the reason that you've had the different colors for it. So um, that's really it. So now that I have the 3 that I want to go ahead and kind of mess with, let's go into kind of breaking down why I'm going to make my choice for one of the 3 belts. Now, it may seem obvious. I'm going to go ahead and rank the 3 belts in the order, and we're going to go ahead and continue this journey. Now, in third place is going to be the Intercontinental Championship. I would get it in the black leather. It's going to fall short. It's just because I'm picking the first one. I may come back for these belts, honorable mentions and some other ones, but as of right now, the first one, Intercontinental, it has great history. It's the workhorse belt, and the history of what it is. I wish that the video games, as far as 2K, really focused on the Intercontinental Championship and making a story out of that. Like, as that is like, hey, you may play this game for a year or two and still never get championship goal. Like that's how just work with me here, 2K. Like, just you don't have to get the championship and do story. You could go on and be a jobber, and there's nothing wrong with that. At least you got a chance to go out there and hear them chant your name maybe just one time. The second belt that I would say is Big Blue. Big Blue is nostalgic. It is the Attitude Era. It is just something about what that time meant in wrestling. Is probably um the biggest that wrestling has been, where you didn't have anyone saying what was real and what wasn't, heel or no or turn or who's going to be there tonight. You were just there. You heard the glass shatter, and WWE made probably billions off of it. um and it didn't matter where you were. You went to school and you talked about what you saw on Monday Night Raw or whatever happened on that pay-per-view. If you didn't have cable, you just kind of squinting through the lines that were moving, and it just, wrestling was, what a time to be alive. um so that belt was really tough to kind of walk away from, because I remember watching so much wrestling with that belt. But all in all, it's going to be the Wing Eagle. The Wing Eagle, just the style of what that belt was. It is the start, basically, of when I was really watching wrestling. When my dad was like, "Hey, watch this. This is wrestling. This is what's happening." And just to watch some of these belts be a part of pop culture and be something that you can showcase or just show, just telling someone about it, and they'll be like, oh, that's the blah 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 belt, and the stories that you'll get from it. Going to the Evolution pop-up shop that they did here in Atlanta, Georgia, it was so cool to talk to people and find out what their favorite belt was and why. And so it's so interesting that, you know, regardless what belt you get from wherever you get, however much money you spend, just it's pretty cool to, you know, wanna get a belt, wanna be a champion. Now, going for now that I know that I'm focusing on getting the winged eagle, I had to make sure I was getting, you know, what variation. All right. So it's a black leather. It's not the dual plated. There is a dual plated one where you have the silver kind of in the background and then you have the gold up front. I'm going to go gold on gold. I'm not going to do any crazy thing like get signatures or anything like that. I do want to kind of just, you know, mess around with it, walk around the house with it, and just be the head of the table, be the showstopper, the icon, the main event, Mr. WrestleMania, the best there is, the best there ever would, you know, whatever you would, you know what I'm saying? So now that I have that set up, now I need to figure out where I'm going to get this from. Do I get it from what seems like the obvious, the WWE shop? Do I get it from Amazon? Do I get it from eBay? Do I get it from that alley around the corner where there's a van that opens up and it says candy on the side of it? No, no, we're not going to do that. But I did need to find out and learn about knockoffs and trying to get some, because I don't want to get a belt where I'm sitting there hoisting it up and it falls apart. Or I say, hey, this belt is legit, and someone's like, no, it isn't. It says da 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 on the side. So it does take time to try to research and figure that stuff out. Now, I could have some fun with this, and I have behind closed doors. I've said to myself, hey, is this something where it's like money in the bank? Right? And there's one person that's supposed to enter, and the match has been going on for a while. And because I got a deal with the corporation, my music hits, Mr. Showtime, the whole freaking show, and I run out. And I put on a banger of a match, another 25-minute match for a ladders match for Money in the Bank, and it's in Atlanta, Georgia. And I climb and I win, and that's it. And you're trying to figure out exactly what championship I'm gonna go for, and now we know. Or is it something like I'm in Miami, Florida, and it's the Royale Rumble, and I throw the last person over the rope. I don't care if it's Shawn Michaels. I throw the last person over. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, I'm a wrestling god. And I am the next person for WrestleMania. And so I'm gonna go ahead and make that choice. Have some fun with it. You know, I'm not in a room full of WWE writers, but just have some fun. Just have some fun. So basically the road to WrestleMania, the road to the goal, this starts now for me. You know, starts now for me. Put in the comment what championship belt would you go for and why? Why is it special to you? You know, I'm not at Madison Square Garden. This is my Madison Square Garden. This is it. This is the biggest night for me in sports entertainment. So all jokes aside, respect to all the champions of the past, but it's my turn. It's my turn to swipe my credit card or debit card and become a champion. So yeah, well, I guess in the next video, I'm going to briefly tell you the different avenues you can make a purchase of said championship belt. Now, you could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here. Until next time, hit my music and check out these other videos that we have to offer for you.
Said I'ma get into it first. Until they put me in the dirt. Said I'ma get into it first. Said I'ma get into it.